having kids really changed our lives. Like for real, it did. And I think for the better. For the better. Here's the thing, bro. When we had our first daughter, I was 20. My wife was 19. And it just changes the game because things get real now. Like you're bringing a baby into the world. Like you kind of gotta get your stuff together, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it's either gonna motivate you to do so, or it's going to, I mean, it's so sad to say. I would hate to say turn you into a bum, but that should never happen. Actually, having kids should never do that to you. Now, having kids really changed our life because it just put it into perspective. Like, hey, like we got to get something going, like for ourselves. I'm not saying if we didn't have kids, we wouldn't have built what we built today. But when you have kids, like those kids depend on you, bro. Like you need to be there for them. Like if you don't feed them, they don't eat. You know, so it kind of turns up the pressure, I would say. Sometimes pressure is good. Obviously, pressure can make diamonds, and obviously pressure can burst the pipes. So it depends on how you look at it. But I think that pressure was good for us. I think having kids is a blessing. I'm not saying go out there and have kids so that you could do something great, but there's a lot of people out there who are doing great things who have a lot of kids. You know, one of them is Elon Musk. He has a bunch of kids, and he's pretty successful. He's doing great things. Nick Cannon, a bunch of kids. I'm not trying to promote or recommend like having a bunch of different baby mamas. That's not what I'm getting at. But what I'm saying is having kids should not stop you from being successful or accomplishing your dreams, right? And I'm giving examples of people who have a lot of kids who are doing crazy big things. Cam Newton, you know, there's a lot of people who have a lot of kids who are doing big things. I think that kids are a beautiful thing. I think they're a blessing. And I think that when you have a kid, that should motivate you. That should motivate you to build wealth. That should motivate you to do something better for yourself, for your life, for your kids, for your loved ones. Because at the end of the day, those kids are the ones depending on you. And I'm going to quote the Bible right now. There's a scripture that ultimately says a wise person leaves an inheritance to their grandchildren. The Bible also talks about how children are a blessing from the Lord. So, and I feel like they truly are. My wife just had a great perspective the other day. So in life, you meet a lot of people. And unfortunately, a lot of people that you meet are fake. We'll give an example. You go to high school and you have a lot of high school friends. By the time you graduate, how many of those high school friends are really rocking with you? If you're lucky, you have one or two. Unfortunately, it's very similar for in the church. I mean, unless you just have a great church and you have a great community of believers, that's the goal. But I've experienced a lot of fake love also in the church and a lot of fake people in the church. And it's very unfortunate that it plays out to be like that. That doesn't change my view or my beliefs. Like my faith is 100 in God. I'm rocking with God regardless. I've already told myself and God, like, no matter what happens to me in my life, I'm always gonna put God first, and I'm always gonna rock with him. Don't matter about fake people misrepresenting him, church hurt, this, that, the third, whatever. Like, me and God are solid because I have that relationship with him. But it's unfortunate that you could go to a place that's supposed to be welcoming and loving, and you could experience a lot of fakeness there as well. In the world, you have fakeness all day long, but it could also be in the church as well. And it sucks that it's that way. But the cool thing about having a lot of kids and a big family is that you got your kids, and like your kids got you. And so you have that big family, right? So when you experience a lot of fakeness of people in the world, you got your family, you got your kids, you got your wife, you got your husband. So that's the cool part of having a nice big family. The unity that you have within your own family, that's the beautiful part. Obviously, the kids will grow up one day and they will leave the nest, and they'll leave the house and all that stuff. And that's fine, because you want your kids to grow and do what they're gonna do with their life. But at least you have a great bond with your children. You give them, you raise them up right? Raising them up right means with integrity, with morals, knowing God. And you have these kids, you have your kids until they become adults, and then you have young adults who can be those people in your life that just are real with you, and you raise them up. Just some real ones in your life. You got some real ones in your life because you have your kids and your family. Yes, they're going to grow up and leave the nest and do their own thing, and that's totally fine. And, you know, when they come around, you got real ones coming around. That's fire. You know what I'm saying? Personally, I want to, my plan is to have a lot of acres, like a lot of acres. I'm hoping minimum 30, but I'm hoping a little bit more. And I'm gonna build up our big dream house. And then as my kids get older, I'm gonna build them their own houses all on these acres. And as they become young adults, they have their own home and they could learn their own independency. I'm not expecting them to live with us forever. If they wanted to live on the acres, they absolutely can get married, build life there. But if they want to move somewhere and experience life elsewhere, they're absolutely able to do that. But at least they always have a home to come to, and their home to come to is going to be their own, not just mom and dad's. Like, no, they're going to have their own house that they could always, you know, have regardless. To me, I love that. My kids are very young right now. My oldest is 6. I got 6, 4, 3, and 2. Very, very young, but I'm already thinking about this stuff because these are the things that I'm trying to implement for my kids' future, for my future, right? What does the Bible say? A godly man leaves an inheritance to their grandchildren. Already planning on how I'm going to build something that could last forever for them, you know? And just setting them up for success. Like, I'm not gonna, my kid turns 18, all right, hit the streets, like, get the hell out of here. Like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna build them up for as much success as possible and teach them independency. And this world is real and it's hard, bro. I'm gonna teach them to be hard workers. There's no laziness going on. You gotta be a hard worker. But, you know, I'm gonna build them, I'm gonna give them the best tools possible to just succeed at life. And I think that as parents, that's what we should do. You know what I'm saying? Having kids changed my life, and for the better, for the good. And I think that I'm gonna have an impact and do everything I can to change theirs in a way where they have the best life possible, they can enjoy life. And I'm excited to see what they do and watching them grow. It's so beautiful. Time passes so quick. So just, if you're watching this and you made it all the way this far, take a moment to just smell the flowers, because time goes by so fast, and before you know it, these kids are growing up so quick, bro. Today is the oldest you've ever been and the youngest you'll ever be again. I'll say it again. Today is the oldest you've ever been and the youngest you will ever be again, at least on this life. When we get to heaven, bro, we're gonna be in our youth. We're gonna be in youthfulness forever. Hey, I'm out of here. Peace.